Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयत्मुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिके कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। जन्मादियस्य यतन्वयादितरतश्चार्तेष्वभिघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदयादिकवये मूयन्ति यत सूरया तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। धर्माप्रोजितकैतवत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवमस्त्वत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापोत्रयन्मूलनं श्रीमद्भागवते महामुने कृते किं वा परिरीश्वरा सद्यो हृदयवृद्ध्यत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तक्षणात् निगमाकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरवो रसिका भुवि भावुका। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दिनतारिणम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नित्यानन्दमहं नौमि सर्वानन्दकरं परं हरिनामाप्रदं देवम् अवधूताशिरोमणिम् आनन्दलीलामयविग्रहाय हेमाम्बदिव्यछविसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेमरसाप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम्। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्ण भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारभक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So yesterday we discussed how Vedavyasji, he was despondent, he was lamenting. And then he prayed for guidance, and Narad Muni appeared. He worshipped Narad Muni. He submitted himself to his lotus feet and asked him to guide him. So, very important aspect is that opening up in front of the spiritual master so that he can correct us. If we go to a doctor and doctor asks you, so what is your problem? And we know we have a stomach ache and we don't tell it to him. We know we have some issues with our body and we are not telling it to him. So it's okay. Doctor will say, okay, then why are you here for? So when we visit a doctor, we honestly should tell him everything so that he can help us. So when we meet sadhus, we should also honestly express our situation to them. Usually we hide things from them. There are sadhus who can see through you, but why will they volunteer? Unless you submit themselves, unless you want help, they will not help you. So Vedavyasji, although he was so elevated, he was a very great personality, but he is showing us how he accepted his despondency. He accepted his dissatisfaction in the heart, and he wanted to overcome that. And he knew that he was on his own not able to do that. So there is a sage, there is a sadhu, and then he submits himself to him. And he is willing to get chastised. So a big challenge in today's world is that nobody wants to get chastised. Neither from their own guru. Nobody wants to get chastised. They only want that the guru should behave like guru and he should not instruct us. So they don't. So they basically they are the gurus of the spiritual master. They are telling him what to do. So Narad Muni, or sadhus like Narad Muni, when they see a honest submission, sometimes the sadhus out of causeless mercy, because the soul is sincere, so out of causeless mercy they chastise him. They try to correct him. But otherwise, they will wait for you to submit to them. But there are sadhus who out of causeless mercy, they instruct you, they guide you, they tell you what to do. It is up to us whether to follow, whether not to follow. So if we follow, then we will be free from all our anarthas, we will be free from our problems, and we will develop unflinching faith in the Lord. So this Madhurya Kadambini is been Prabhu is taking. So there are the various stages a person has to go through. So today he is discussing Anartha Nivritti. So Anartha Nivritti means getting free from all the obstacles which are on the path, obstacles on the path of becoming a Premi Bhakta. So you think, if we think that we can overcome that, then we are a big fool. We need help. We need to be trained. We need guidance. We need Ahituki Kripa. We need sadhu's blessings. Basically, we are Kripa Siddhas. If we can get perfection, then it is only by the mercy of causeless mercy of a sadhu. So Narad Muni is here. Vedavyas, after adding 400 shlokas, he is folding his hand and sitting at the lotus feet of Narad Muni and waiting to get chastised. So Naradji is saying that you have not actually broadcasted the spotless glories of the Supreme Lord. And the philosophy which does not glorify the transcendental name, fame, pastimes of the Lord is considered worthless. And coming to the point, he's saying that in Mahabharata, Narad Muni is just directly pointing out that in Mahabharata, dear Vedavyasji, you have very broadly described about the 4 principles, starting with religious performance, economic development, dharma, artha, kama and moksha. But you have not described the pastimes or the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is not that Krishna's name is not mentioned in Mahabharata, it's definitely there. But the way the way the presentation has to be done, in which the glories of the Lord comes out, it was not presented in that way. Naradji is saying that those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord, those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord. How are the glories of the Lord? The glories of the Lord are powerful enough to sanctify the atmosphere of the whole world. How are the glories of the Lord? The glories of the Lord, the kirti, the kirti, the yash. Yash means the glories, and the kirti means the name and fame of the Lord is so powerful that it can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe. Why did 88,000 rishis had given up the fire sacrifice which they started, and they took shelter of a Sutta Goswami, a personality? Why? Why did they stop that? That sacrifice was supposed to happen for 1,000 years. That was their plan. Initially, that's Sahasrasama Masata. For 1,000 years, they had planned that they will do this. They took sankalpa. Everything has a purpose. They took purpose was sadhu sangha, but they took sankalpa, and they broke that sankalpa. They took a vow of doing this yajna sacrifice for the pleasure of Vishnu, and they broke that. Why? Because this yajna is not going to sanctify the atmosphere of the whole world, but Hari Kirtan does. Hearing from the lips of a pure devotee has no comparison. Lavamatra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hoye. Why it is said lavamatra? Even a moment of the association. Why? Why is that moment of association? Because that moment can transform our life, transform existence. What is sadhu sangha? We need to understand. We have to very closely observe the nature and pure character of a sadhu. And we have to build our character, our nature, based on the nature and character of a sadhu. That is sadhu sangha. So we have to very closely observe them. Very close, and so Naradji is saying those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord, who can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered by the saintly people. Not in front. Don't do that in front of me, please. It disturbs me. I'm sorry, but it disturbs me. The whole universe, you can alone sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, because, and the saintly people, they consider that as a place of pilgrimage for crows. Crows and swans, they are both birds, but of different categories. Crows, they like certain kind of food. They like to eat garbages. The food for the crows is that the householder, when they throw something, or the garbage, leftovers, crows will come and eat that. You will never see a swan going there and eating that garbage. Because swan has a different taste altogether, food altogether. They have a different lifestyle altogether. So here Naraji is saying that those words who do not describe the glories of the Lord, which are that, the glories of the Lord are so powerful, which can sanctify the whole world. Okay? So, but if those words are tasty for whom, if the literature is not describing the glories of the Lord, that food is tasty for the crows, not for the hamsas. And the paramhamsas or the hamsas, the devotees of the Lord or the paramhamsas, they do not derive any pleasure there. Now, if you see the crows, there are two categories. If you see the crows and the swans, there are two categories. The swans are like the devotees, and the crows are the materialistic people. So if the crows, if their liking is they want mundane literature. They like reading mundane literature, watching mundane things. They want to be absorbed in mundane activities. And that's their pleasure. They get pleasure from that. And swans, they will never go there. The devotees of the Lord will never go to a movie theater. The devotees of the Lord will never go to pubs. They will never go drink. They will never do all these things. But the crows like to do all that things. And the devotees of the Lord, they like to hear the glories of the Lord, Harikatha, Srimad Bhagavad Katha. That is their life. It is very important that we understand that our lifestyle is very different from people outside, because we are like hamsas. We not very paramhamsas, but at least we are hamsas. Then there is a category of paramhamsas also. Paramhamsas are very advanced. They are 24 hours singing of Krishna. So we are not in that category, but at least we are in hamsas category, because we don't like to eat the leftover. We will never go to the Pizza Hut and eat that rubbish things there, which are mixed with non-vegetarian stuff. And main thing is the literature they read. They read concocted literature. For them, newspaper, the magazines which are produced outside, those are everything. And devotees are no way interested in that. And devotees should not be interested in that. If the devotee is also reading those magazines, those books, those novels, which are written by drunkards, there are so many people in the world have so many books written outside, and the person who has written it is a drunkard, or he is not following the basic principles of human being. So if we read his books, we are going to get his consciousness. And we'll get his sanskaras. So we have to be very, very careful of what we are up to. So devotees should absorb themselves in reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. But unfortunately, devotees are also not reading that. The devotees have no time for reading Srimad Bhagavatam. They have no time for hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. No time for reading. They have all the time in the world to do other things. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. The base of all this Navida Bhakti is Shravanam. The base. Imagine if Shravan is not there, only Kirtan is there. Kirtan, Smaran, no Shravan aspect is there. Everything will fail. Everything will fail in its effect. If someone is without hearing from sadhus, if he does kirtan, what kirtan it will have? What impact it will have? Tell me. Without hearing from sadhus, without studying. Now studying is also hearing. People ask, Prabhuji, where is, you are emphasizing so much on studying, but where is studying? Studying lies. Shravan also comes under, Adhyan also comes under Shravan. It is a category. Shravana means it has two aspects. Hearing from a Bhagavata, person Bhagavata, and hearing directly from Srimad Bhagavatam, reading Srimad Bhagavatam. So both comes under Shravan. So reading is an aspect of Shravan. And if that aspect is not there, and if that person does kirtan, how it will impact? That person's words will have no impact because he has not heard. He has not read. And he is still speaking. It has no impact. He himself is not nourished. How will he nourish others? Smaran. What will he remember? What will a devotee remember if there is no Shravan in his life? There is no Adhyan in his life. Whose pastimes will he remember? He will only remember the faults of others. Any service, washing pots, offering pranam to the Lord, washing pots also, washing pots or doing archanam, doing puja of the Lord, also one needs to be in proper consciousness. One should be nourished in Krishna consciousness. In simple words, one should be nourished in Krishna consciousness. If that nourishment is not there, then we feel, although after practicing Krishna, although getting up for the Mangal Arati, doing everything, but still there is dryness in the heart. Because why? Because the soul is not nourished. Because the food for soul is what? Srimad Bhagavatam. We take food, prasadam every day. Morning, evening, afternoon, we take prasad every day. For what purpose? The purpose is so that our body gets nourishment. Similarly, you try to understand that if we are sick or we are healthy, in both circumstances, food is required. If we are sick, we take health diet, right? If we are okay, we eat feast. In both the circumstances, food is required. Similarly, for the nourishment of the soul, Srimad Bhagavatam is required. Because Srimad Bhagavatam is food for soul. Krishna Katha is food for soul. If that aspect is neglected in our life, then all our other activities are going to fail. It will get affected. We might find the fault in our own services we are doing. We might be doing Archan Puja, and we might think, oh, what am I doing here? I should better do something else. We may think like that. Because we are washing pots, sometimes we are doing some menial services. At that time we may think, oh, what I am doing here? That thing will come up. If somebody chastises you, somebody instructs you or does something not favorable to you, and you will be disappointed. Why people leave? Why people leave Krishna consciousness? Why they go away? Because they have not trained nicely in the subject matter of Krishna consciousness. Because they have not been trained to study Bhagavatam, to hear Bhagavatam, study Bhagavatam. That's why they go away. If they are trained nicely to hear and study, I guarantee you that nobody will go. If Bhagavatam comes in their life, we can guarantee that in this lifetime one will not leave Krishna consciousness. So we have to emphasize more. Propagate this Bhagavad Dharma. Propagate Srimad Bhagavatam. Encourage devotees to study. Encourage devotees, they should take out time to study Bhagavatam. They should take out time to hear from a person whose life is Bhagavat. It's very important that hearing from whom? Hearing from a person whose life is Bhagavat. Just hearing is not going to help. If a person speaking Bhagavatam, if his life is not Bhagavat, it will have no impact on others. He himself is not studying Bhagavatam everyday basis, but he's just coming just like that and speaking class, giving class. His Bhagavatam class will have no impact on others. It's very important that to hear Bhagavatam, one has to hear from a person whose life is Bhagavatam. So and if you're not interested, if you don't get interested in Bhagavatam, of hearing, reading, or Krishna conscious things, then naturally, because of our sanskars, previous sanskar, we will be inclined towards watching movies. We'll be inclined towards other literatures. We feel with those news, because everything is there on the phone. So we'll like that, we'll get taste there. So that's why devotees, people, they leave. Why? Because they don't get taste here. Because why? Because we are not giving them training. Training in what? Training in hearing and studying, taking shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is very important thing. So the Hamsas, we have to be very careful that when you are coming in the association of Hamsas or Paramhamsas, we should try to adopt their lifestyle and very deeply take to this. Shri Narad Muni is saying that literature, one side he is saying that literature which does not have the glories of the Lord is useless. So all this concocted literature in the material world, they are all useless. Everything, hundreds and thousands and millions and trillions of books are there in the world. They are all useless. They are all useless. They might earn us degrees, diplomas, PhDs, but they are all this book in thousands and thousands of libraries which are there. If they do not glorify the activities of the Lord, they are all bogus and all useless. No, the world is not going to derive any benefit out of it. And the crows-like mentality, the crow mentality people only will go and look for happiness in those thousands and millions of books in those libraries. The Hamsas will never go there. They will never go there. On the other hand, Naradji is saying, on the other hand, that literature which is full of description about Krishna's name, Krishna's fame, Krishna's pastimes. And although that book might be imperfectly compiled, but that book can bring a revolution in the life of impious people. That book can be, Srila Prabhupada in the Prabhupada writes that definitely my writing will definitely have a lot of flaws because I am not a Westerner. My English is not that good. Some of the editors are, Prabhupada's editors are very, very good. They did it so nicely. But Prabhupada expresses this point. But Prabhupada is saying that they will see my sincerity in expressing the transcendental science in Srimad Bhagavatam, and they will accept that. So those books which are not properly compiled. Let's say, for example, not as per the standard of the Oxford, for example. But if it has the glories of the Lord, right? These are perfect, all glorious. And it should be heard, it should be sung. Prabhupada wanted that devotees should study the purports so nicely and they should write books on his purports. Actually, his purports are an ocean in itself. Each and every purport needs explanation. One can write various books. On hundreds of books one can be written just explaining the purports. And that is my mission also. So I have already started it. So Naraji is saying that knowledge of self-realization does not look well if it is devoid of the conception of the Supreme Lord. There are so many people in the world, they are spiritual people, right? Spiritualists all over the world, right? Hundreds and hundreds of lakhs and crores of yogis are there. But if They do not, if the knowledge which they have, if the knowledge, because the self-realization path they follow, if that is devoid of the conception about the Supreme Lord, then what is the use? It is a waste. It's a waste. Because the fruitive activities are naturally very painful. Right? What Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, what will one gain by squeezing the nose? Nothing. By squeezing the nose here and there for several times, what benefit one will get? Nothing. So that is the point, that the knowledge of self-realization does not look well if it is devoid of conception of infallible Lord. There are so many impersonalists who talk about so many things. There are so many people who talk about karma-kanda activities. They engage people in karma-kanda activities. And then there are so many philosophies in the world, and they are all devoid of Krishna Katha. So they are not, and if they are not utilized for the devotional service, it does not give pleasure to the devotees, neither the Lord. So the devotees of the Lord, they are always away from these things. Now, Naradji is saying that, Vedavyasji, your vision is completely perfect. It is not that you have some defect. No, your vision is completely perfect. Your good fame is spotless. You are a good character. You have good character. You are firm in your vow. You are very pakka in following the principles. And you are situated in dharma. So, now you think, now by my blessings, you can think the pastimes of the Lord in your transcendental meditation. Start meditating on the Supreme Lord, and all the pastimes will be revealed to you. Because that, and when you write now, after those things are revealed to you, then you write now. When you write now, then that is going to deliver the people from the material bondage. Now you write. After realization, you start writing. Whatever you desire to describe, that is separate in vision from the Lord, simply reacts with different forms, names, and results to agitate the mind, and the wind agitates a boat which has no resting place. So our Naradji is saying, is pointing out the despondency, the problem of dissatisfaction is here. Naradji is pointing out his problem straight away. Then what is the problem? The problem is that our Vedavyasji was struggling to come to a conclusion about what is his great work. So Naradji is saying very clearly pointing it out to him. What is he pointing it out? That Srila Vyasadeva has compiled 18 Puranas. Try to understand. 18 Puranas. In the 18 Puranas, he has encouraged demigod worship, Devata worship. Worship of the Devatas. Now, Vedavyas wanted to help every person. The people who are in the Tamogun category, he wanted to help them also, for he wrote literature for them, so that he can bring them to certain standard. Then he wrote literature for Rajoguni people who are in the Rajogun mode of passion. He wrote books for them so that he can bring them to a certain platform. And then he wrote for Sattva-guna also, people who are in Sattva-guna. So the 3 categories of Puranas are there. Right? Naradji is pointing out such a waste. Means you are giving people 18 options. 18 Puranas, 18 options. Isn't it? So Naradji is saying, you, through Mahabharata, you did a mistake. Another blunder what you did, that you compiled Puranas, and in that Puranas you encourage Devata worship. People who are already struggling to maintain their lives, if they want to pursue spiritual realization, self-realization, and when they come to your teachings, and there is huge, so much confusion. 18 Puranas, should we worship the follow Shiv Mahapuran? Should we follow Devi Bhagavatam? Although it is not written by Veda Vyas. But should we follow Devi Bhagavatam? Should we follow Ganesh Puran? Which Puran should we follow? Agni Puran, Garuda Puran, Vayu Puran. What should we follow? So Narad is saying, Narad is stressing that particular defect in the Vedic literature is compiled by Veda Vyasji. And he's trying to emphasize, describing that you should have done everything in relation with the Lord. You should have just written only one book, Bhagavad Puran, that's it. There is no way, there is no need to have been so compassionate that you spoiled them. In simple words, Narad is saying, you have spoiled everything. You have bewildered people. If they want to attain self-realization, if they want to move on that path, I mean, they will have to, they have so many 18 paths, 18 directions. And then you are saying, your Mahabharata is the essence of the Vedas. So they go to Mahabharata, and what are they going to get? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. How are they going to get benefited? So you have confused them. In simple words, my dear Veda Vyas, you have confused them completely. So thus, all a man's activities are dedicated to the service of the Lord. So those very activities which cause the perpetual bondage become the destroyer of the tree of the work. So when performs activities for the pleasure of the Lord, the same activity becomes the destroyer of the tree work. It destroys the sansar bandhana. Now, when ordinary people, when they are working outside, they are working for themselves. But devotees, when they are working outside, they should do it very nicely. They do it half-heartedly. They should do it nicely. In their heart, they should know that the money they are getting, it will going to help them to be Krishna conscious, right? So if you're working outside, do it nicely. Not markat vairagya. Inside there are so many desire, and outside you are showing your laziness, that you want to. You're not interested in doing activity or this materialistic environment. Oh, I don't like this and that. But inside we have desires. So it is best that you work hard nicely, get that money, and use that money for the pleasure of the Lord. Vasudevarpanam. Offer everything to Krishna and utilize that money nicely. So, and gradually as time comes, let Krishna make arrangement by which he arranges in our lives that we are free from this ugra karma of engaging in. So let Krishna arrange it. Till the time there is no arrangement, we should work hard. So everything can be done for the satisfaction of the Lord. And all this activity, when we are doing for the pleasure of the Lord, that is bhakti yoga. Even though you are working for a particular company, but if you are doing that activity, keeping in mind, the money which I am going to get, I am going to utilize for the Lord. I am going to utilize for serving the Lord. That is bhakti yoga. So, whatever work is done here in this life for the satisfaction of the mission of the Lord is bhakti yoga. This is Narad Muni saying. So, there are two kinds of dharmas. One is general religious principle, and one is the transcendental religious principles. When our Ajamil Prabhu was on the deathbed, at that time he called out for his son Narayan. But Ajamil himself had performed sinful activities by his body, mind and action. So, 3 Yamadutas came to take him. And Ajamil was feared. And out of fear, when he saw that Yamadutas, he was afraid and he called out for the names of Narayan, his son. So what happened? Na, Ra, Ya, Na, with every syllable, Lord, the Lord, Supreme Lord sent 4 Dutas. And there was a discussion between Yamadutas and Vishnudutas. Yamadutas were questioned by Vishnudutas, what is dharma? So they gave the definition of dharma as per their understanding. That Ajamil is a Duratma, Ajamil is a sinful person, he is definitely going to suffer, he has to be suffered in hell, this and that. But then the Vishnudutas explained the transcendental religious principle which is called as Bhagavad Dharma. In the Bhagavad Dharma, he unknowingly performed Bhagavad Dharma. Who? Ajamil. Unknowingly performed it. And he was even rescued by Vishnudutas. And they explained the principle of Bhagavad Dharma to Yamadutas. And they told this Ajamil is not Duratma, he is a Mahatma. Because he has performed, he has chanted the holy names of the Lord. So he comes under the jurisdiction of Bhagavad Dharma. So, knowingly you do it, unknowingly you do it. There is a benefit. So if you are doing it, if any work, if it is done for the pleasure of the Lord, for His mission, so it might be working in the office, distributing books, or whatever it is. It is going to benefit if it is for the pleasure of the Lord. And while doing activities, one should try to remember Lord Shri Krishna. Sometimes it happens that while performing devotion in the temple also, while performing devotional activity, we don't remember Krishna. While chanting also, we don't remember Krishna. Forget about that. Chanting is so mechanical that the mind is wandering here and there. Why? Because you need to understand, we are not nourished. Why? While chanting the holy names of the Lord, why we are not getting that happiness, transcendental happiness? Because we are not nourished in Krishna consciousness nicely. Everything is, we are doing mechanically dry. How long can you drag that mechanical bhakti? One thing is missing in our life. What is that? Srimad Bhagavatam. Neither we are hearing attentively, we are not spending time studying this subject matter. We have no time for studying. The whole movement was founded for spreading the culture of Srimad Bhagavatam. The whole movement was established so that this transcendental message of Bhagavatam can be broadcast all over the world. This old man started his journey with Bhagavatam and he came to the Western world. Unfortunately, very few are actually understanding the essence of this International Society of Krishna Consciousness, which is to spread the culture of Bhagavad Dharma. And to spread the culture of Bhagavad Dharma, we should know what is Bhagavad Dharma. People don't know what is Sanatana Dharma. All over the world, all the Hindus, they claim themselves as Sanatanis. But they themselves don't know what is Sanatana Dharma. Same is with Hare Krishna devotees. Same problem. Nothing different. If we ask 100 devotees interview them, what is Bhagavad Dharma? I guarantee you 90% of devotees will not know it. Yes. That is the situation. If we know the whole thing, Shravanam plays a very important role, reading plays a very important role in our nourishment, then all our activities will be different. Our chanting will be glorious. We'll be able to remember Krishna. I guarantee this is guaranteed aspect. But unfortunately, Hare Krishna devotees have no time for Srimad Bhagavatam. The devotees staying in the temple also, don't have no time for Bhagavatam. I have traveled across the globe. 2014 onwards, I have been traveling. 11 years. More than 178 cities. Trained more than 5,000 devotees with our Bhagavad teachers training program. Made so many devotees across the world. I understand. They have no time for Bhagavatam. That's why there is dryness. That's why there is dryness in their life. This because Srimad Bhagavatam is missing in their lives. Narad is saying, Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam Vasudevaya Dhimahi Pradyumnaya Niruddhaya Nama Sankarshanaya Cha. Let us all chant the glories of Vasudev along with this plenary portion. Pradyumna, Aniruddha and Sankarshana. Thus, he is the actual seer who worships in the form of transcendental sound representation, Lord Vishnu. And he is saying, O Brahmana Vyasadev, Imam Swanigamam Brahman Na Vetya Madunushtatam Adan Me Jnana Vaisharyam Swasmin Bhavam Na Kechava. He is saying, O Brahmana, O Vyasadev, thus by the Supreme Lord Krishna, I was endowed first with the transcendental message of the Lord as inculcated in the confidential part of the Vedas, then with spiritual opulences, and then with his intimate loving service. So he is saying, Narad is saying his situation. He is describing his situation. That he was blessed by the Lord. Narad is a special personality. He was not an ordinary soul. Previous life, he was associated with Mahabhagavatas. He got association of the 4 great personalities. And he spent time in their association, eating the remnants, hearing Krishna Katha from them. And they planted the seed of devotion in his heart. And if little time spent by this little boy in the association of the devotees, this boy becomes Narad Muni. So imagine if we are serious also, we can also become Narad Muni, follow in his footsteps. But Hare Krishna devotees have no time for Bhagavatam. They don't want to hear Bhagavatam. They don't want to read Bhagavatam. So you figure it out. Where are we heading towards? And then we complained that there is dryness in my heart. I'm not feeling, Krishna consciousness is not going well with me. So Naradji is advising. What is advising to Vedavyasji? Now you compile Bhagavatam. You asked me this afternoon. Vedavyasji, he wrote 18 Puranas before Mahabharata. So now, again, Naradji is asking him, now you compile Bhagavad Puran. What is this? Are there 2 Bhagavatam? No. It is only, Bhagavatam is only one. But the situation is that he's saying when the 18 Puranas were compiled, Bhagavad was also compiled, but in a concise form. Bhagavatam was compiled also. But then he wrote Mahabharata, and then Vedavyas, when he chastised him, then he again took out that book. He revised. He brought in the revised edition of Srimad Bhagavatam, which was compiled under direction of Narad Muni. So Sutta Goswami confirms this in one of the verses. I'll find that out. Sutta Goswami confirms that. What he confirms? That the edition which we have is a revised edition of Srimad Bhagavatam. Vedavyasji revised this, and also Jiva Goswami Pad in Tattva Sandarbha, he also mentions this, that it is a revised edition of Srimad Bhagavatam, what we have with us. Now, he's saying that, my dear Vyasa, even though a devotee of Lord Krishna falls down somehow or other, he will not undergo material existence. Because a person who had once tasted the lotus feet of the Lord can do nothing but to remember that ecstasy again and again. I have a friend who joined with me, and today he is not practicing. But this verse exactly, I can tell you that he remembers that ecstasy again and again. Whenever he calls me, always the subject matter has come up. And he always tells me, Brajsundar, Krishna is the Supreme Lord. I know that much. And I'm very happy that I know that. Although I'm not able to practice now, but I remember those days. What days those days were. So this is actually what he's saying is true. Naraji is saying. And Naraji is saying that your goodness has perfect vision. You yourself can know the Supreme Personality of Godhead because you are a plenary portion of the Lord. You are your Lord himself has come down to write these literatures. Who can write 4 lakh verses? It is not possible. Although you are birthless, you have appeared on this earth for the well-being of people. Therefore, please describe the transcendental activities of the Lord more vividly. Please, that focus on Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, I'm blessed. I'll bless you that this is all revealed to you. The transcendental knowledge will be revealed to you, and you study it. And then, to give him inspiration, to inspire him, and to inspire all of us, Naradji is revealing his past life. And that we will discuss tomorrow. In the morning. Hopefully with more devotees. I am happy. I have no problem. Because when you speak, you speak. Who is there, it doesn't matter. Any questions? Yes. No. Fire sacrifice. Yes. It was stopped. It was stopped. As soon as their purpose, they started, Sankalpa has to be taken. The Sankalpa was that they will perform this for 1000 years. But I think they stopped it after 11 or 12 years. I don't know, but that's what I have understood, that they stopped after some time it was stopped. Because they already decided as soon as Mahabhagavat comes, we will stop the sacrifice and hear Harikatha, hear Bhagavatam from him. And they were waiting for Sutta Goswami Pad. Why? Because Romaharshan Sut was speaking and then he was killed, the Balramji. No. Romaharshan Sut was so... That chronology need to be figured out. But while Romaharshan Sut came, they stopped the yajna. Probably the gap between Romaharshan Sut and Ugrashrava Sut, that gap needs to be analyzed. I don't want to speculate, because that is very difficult and very challenging aspect to, unless Bhagavatam reveals itself, it is not possible practically to understand all this chronology. It is very difficult. How can understanding what happened 1,000 years back, unless our Acharya is right, it is very practically difficult. But what my understanding is that because Romaharshan Sut was killed, so everything was halted, right? So immediately Sut Goswami did not come, right? So then this yajna was started, and then our Sutta Goswami path came, Romaharshan Sut came, and then it continued. So that is that chronology, because both incidents are in Bhagavatam. So that has to be, here we can see very clearly that in the first chapter itself, if you see very carefully, the first chapter, first verses, the fourth verses, it says that Naimishya Nimishetre Rishaya Shavanakadaya Satram Swargaya Lokaya Sahasra Samamasata. Once in a holy place of Naimisharanya, great sages headed by Shavanak Rishi assembled to perform 1,000-year sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Lord and his devotees. So Sahasram is Sahasra means 1,000 years. That Vedavyas is saying. Now Sutta Goswami is not coming to pictures. The first all verses are Vedavyas is only speaking. So after the Janmadhyasya Tanvayadha, after 3 prayers, he is saying this, Naimisha Nimishatri Rishaya Shavanakadaya Satram Swargaya Lokaya Sahasramasa. So they started 1,000 years old sacrifice. And to be very honest, then this Sutta Goswami comes there. Right? So that needs to be assimilated very nicely. That needs to be understood. Ugrashava Sut comes there. And then further the next sloka is Ta ekada tu munaya pratur huta huta gnaya satkritam sutamasinam prapashu ruddara madarat. So one day after finishing their morning duties by burning a sacrificial fire and offering a seat of esteem to Srila Sutta Goswami, the sages made inquiries. That means they stopped the sacrifice. In the next verse, immediately it is mentioned that they stopped the sacrifice and they gave elevated seat to Sutta Goswami Pad. Right? So I overheard sadhus saying that after 12 years they stopped. Okay? That katha was going on for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
That is not mentioned. It is mentioned that Shukdev Goswami spoke Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit 30 years after Lord Krishna's departure. 30 years after Lord Krishna's departure from the planet. 30 years, Shukdev Goswami spoke to Maharaj Parikshit. 200 years after that, Gokarna, he spoke to Dhundukari. Same thing what Shukdev Goswami spoke to Maharaj Parikshit. Same thing was repeated by Gokarna to Dhundukari. Janmadhyasya starting from the first verse. Again 30 years after that episode. 30, 200, and again 30 years after that, 4 Kumaras spoke to Narad Muni in Haridwar. Okay. So these all are mentioned in Puranas. These dates are mentioned.
But Narad Muni knew Bhagavatam. Why he had to hear it from the Kumaras?
Yeah, the same question Shaunakji also asked to Sutta Goswami Pad. Naraji to knew about this. Why did he hear? So Naraji, he went on the banks of river Yamuna. Okay. There he met a very beautiful woman. She, on her lap, had two old people sleeping on her lap. And there are 100 women who were serving this one beautiful girl. So Naradji saw that. He went near them and he inquired, "Oh lady, who are you? And who are these two old people sleeping on your lap? And who are these all 100 girls?" So she introduced, "Oh my dear Naradji, I am Bhakti Devi. These two are my sons, knowledge and renunciation, Gyan and Vairagya. And these 100 women are no other than the rivers of Bharatvarsha. So they are serving me. But can you tell me that I am young and these people have become old? So what is the reason?" And she told her story, how she became old, how her sons became old. She told that she was born in Dravida Desh. She was born in South India. The Bhakti movement started in South India by Ramanujacharya. And then it went to Madhvacharya. Then it went to Tukaram Maharaj. In Tukaram Maharaj, he flooded in Maharashtra. Then she said, "I came to Gujarat." And then in Gujarat, I was rogues, they troubled me. Because they were performing bhakti in the name for ulterior motives. So Jnana and Vairagya, they became old there. So I was very upset, and then I came to Vrindavan. So Vrindavan, she became jubilant. She was recovered. But these two of them are still old. So she inquires from Narad Muni, what is the reason? And Narad Muni said, this is because Kali Yuga. And so she asked Narad Muni that why did Maharaj Parikshit did not kill Kali Yuga? At that time, Narad Muni says that Kam Krishnam Lati Dadati iti Kali. That although Kali Yuga has a lot of defects, but one advantage is that in a little span of time which a human being has, in that short span of life he can perfect his existence by taking shelter of the Lord Hari. And then Narad Muni tries to wake up Jnana and Vairagya by chanting Vedic mantras, by chanting Upanishad mantras, by chanting Bhagavad Gita. Still they don't wake up. After that, Narad Muni was bewildered. That after chanting Vedic mantras, after chanting everything, why are this Jnana and Vairagya not waking up? So at that time, there was a sound. The Devatas, they narrated that Naradji, for this particular activity, you will have to associate with saintly people. And they will tell you the reason. And they will give you the solution. So Narad Muni travels across various places, holy places, and meets lots of saintly people. And nobody had answer. And they were saying, if Naradji does not know the answer, how can we know the answer? So Narad Muni got irritated, frustrated. He was in anxiety. And then he decided, I have to now go ultimately to Badrika Ashram. Let me take shelter of Narayan Rishi directly. So while Narad Muni reached Badrika Ashram, and that is where they met four Kumaras. And they were laughing at Naradji. The Naradji, why are you in anxiety? Like a Grahastha is always in anxiety. A Grahastha life is always in anxiety, bichara. So why are you in anxiety? So, and then he inquires, Naradji inquires. What is the reason of, and then four Kumaras says, Baba, Bhagavatam. You only has revealed Chaturashloki Bhagavat to Vedavyas. And now you are asking the same question to us. But you are the Acharya of Bhakti. Why you got bewildered? And then he said, then there was a discussion, then more glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, right? And then Narad Muni said, I want to hear in detail the Srimad Bhagavatam from you. Where can we do that? They said, we'll have to go to Haridwar. So they went to Haridwar. From there, they went to Haridwar. So, and in that place, in Haridwar, the Devatas also participated in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. In Shukdev Goswami, when Shukdev Goswami was narrating Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit, the Devatas came there, but they came with a pot of nectar. And they told Shukdev Goswami that let the Maharaj Parikshit drink this nectar. So even though Takshak will bite, it will not affect him. Right? And in that exchange, allow us to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So Shukdev Goswami was very disappointed with the Devatas. And he kicked them out from the assembly, saying that you guys have no adhikar. You don't understand where is the mundane nectar and where is Srimad Bhagavatam. You are comparing this nectar with the nectar of devotion. So he rejected that. But now here, when 4 Kumaras were speaking to Narad Muni in Haridwar, all these devatas were there. They all came there. They sat very peacefully. And they heard the entire Srimad Bhagavatam from 4 Kumaras. There are various procedures as well. How Srimad Bhagavatam is to be recited, studied. And there is a lot of glories of Srimad Bhagavatam mentioned in that subject matter. Okay. Yes.
I would like to ask how did you understand that there should be more Srimad Bhagavatam class? I'm experiencing that general devotees have more taste from kirtan, even their mind just goes here and there, flickering around. But I'm experiencing that during Bhagavatam class, especially if it is, required, an obligation, heavy obligation, they feel like that, they are easily go to get sleep. not only feel dry, but actually they fall asleep. And there is a lot of tension because of that, because temple authorities and those who are presented, they would like to be more recipient from the audience, but so there is a kind of obligation and dryness about that. So how did you understand that there should be more Bhagavatam? Because maybe even it's the best if it is forced. With what comes to my mind, the one quote from Srila Prabhupada from Mauritius, when he told about that our society should be based on love, not rules. And if devotees feel loved themselves, they automatically will follow our rules. So Srila Prabhupada introduced the Bhagavatam, and those hippies who were absolutely not interested previously, they become absorbed in Bhagavatam. So if we are hearing from a devotee who has no jealousy in his heart about Bhagavata, naturally the taste comes up. So how did you understand that there should be more Bhagavatam?
I mean, there should be more Bhagavatam
in our society. So that's my
There should
question.
be proper training given how to study Bhagavatam and how to explain Bhagavatam. That training is required. So it is very important aspect, very important question you have asked. That there should be training for studying and teaching. So if you are not trained, then we cannot enter into Bhagavatam. The training is very essential, first thing. Because if someone gets enthusiasm to study Bhagavatam, he opens the first canto, first verse, and he sees the long purport, and he is finished. Somehow he completes that, goes to second verse, and it's a huge long purport. And then he sees all the 18 books and he said, my God, in this life, it's not possible. Because no taste. There is no taste with the devotees too. Because there are 4 levels of studying Bhagavatam. This recording is on? On, na? There are 4 levels of studying Bhagavatam. Okay. I'll tell you in very simple way. First level is studying only translations. through studying of only translations, what will happen? One gets an overview of what is there in the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. What happens? We need to get what is there in Bhagavatam is vast, 18,000 verses, right? But in the first level, if we go through the overview of the entire Bhagavatam, it helps us to understand what is there in the 11, 12 cantos, what is there in the different chapters, what the particular chapter talks about. And then we develop some taste for it, right? Because we have gone through the whole Bhagavatam. Now, then comes the second level, that is studying with purpose, right? So now the purports will become more tastier. If you have studied the level number 1 and then you are coming to level number 2, then there will be entrance into the subject matter. We are directly getting into the subject matter of Bhagavatam with purports, where it is very difficult to assimilate what is going on. Because linking each other, like connecting the verses or connecting the chapters, because when we are reaching the second canto, we completely forget what is in the first canto. Because the subject matter is very vast, and with study of the purport, it becomes more vast. So the first thing is to go through the only translations of the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, at least 2-3 times. Then you come to level number 2, that is study of the purports, and now the purports will become more interesting, more tastier. You will be able to connect, relate, right? Third thing, after reading the purports at least 2 times, whole purports, then you come to level number 3, that is studying it with the help of the tikas of the acharyas. Then you can take out commentaries of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur or Jiva Goswami Pad or Sridhar Swami Pad and try to analyze the subject matter with that help. Third level. Fourth level is that understanding the subject matter with the Jiva Goswami Shad Sandarbhas, right? Or understanding Shad Darshanas, the 6 Indian philosophies, for understand that, and that will help. Then you will be able to analyze the different aspects of Srimad Bhagavatam through Jiva Goswami Shad Sandarbhas. To reach to that level, one should have gone through these aspects. Otherwise, what Jiva Goswami is saying, what is he trying to explain, we won't be able to assimilate that. And then the fourth level also has, which I keep, is studying the darshanas, 6 darshanas, 6 Indian philosophies. Then that subject matter becomes clearer, most clearer. Simultaneously, Srimad Bhagavatam study should go on, but all these things needs to also come up. So it is a lifetime preparation. One can spend a lifetime happily with Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, beyond it will be, if one makes Srimad Bhagavatam as a life throughout then he is with the Lord next birth. There is no taking birth again in this filthy, dirty, material world. He will not see the womb of the mother if he is absorbed in the Srimad Bhagavatam like this. So for that we need guidance. We need guidance, and we need to make people aware of this transcendental religious principles, this Bhagavad Dharma. We have to train people up for this so that they can understand this and propagate it, and they will inspire others. Unfortunately, we are not doing that. What is Sanatan Dharma? Sanatan means eternal, Dharma means occupation. That occupation of the living entity which cannot be separated from him at any given point of time is Sanatana Dharma. And this Sanatana Dharma means Bhagavad Dharma. Bhagavad Dharma means Sanatana Dharma. In simple words, Bhagavad Dharma is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasam, Sakhyam, Atman. This is Bhagavad Dharma. This is Bhagavad Dharma. That we need to understand. So, first and important aspect is Shravanam. Shravanam is the Adhar. When a sadhu is there to speak, one should give up all the activities and all the services and go and sit with him and hear from him. There is no important task other than hearing Bhagavatam. My Guru Maharaj says this: when there is sadhu to speak, one should give up all the activities in the world, however important that is. Even though you might be going to get profit of millions and trillions of rupees also, that can be given up. If there is a sadhu around you, and if he is willing, if he is speaking Srimad Bhagavatam, one should go and sit and hear Bhagavatam from him. That's how important it is. Because after the time is gone, you may have time, but the sadhu will not be around. The person who is there to give you Bhagavatam, he will not be around. You may have time later on, but what is the use? So one should take full advantage of when one gets association of such saintly people. Yes, you have another question? So it is very important that is propagate this transcendental science of Bhagavad Dharma. This whole movement was established just for one purpose, to spread the culture of Srimad Bhagavatam. And somehow that has gone down. That is not anymore the topmost priority, but it should be the topmost priority. And everything else is fallen. Everything else will fall in its place. Everything will become smooth. The dealings will become smooth. The dealings between the devotees, the dealings between the people will become so smooth and so loving and so affectionate if Bhagavatam is in the center. Yes. But there is no way it's there. So there are problems. Otherwise there will be no problems. Hare Krishna.